Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Whole Being Healing Podcast. I'm Lisa Warner. I'm the author of The Simplicity of Self-Healing and co-creator of Whole Being Healing and Lisa and Mara's Magical Mystery School for Whole Being Healers.
Hey, and I'm Maura S. I am co-author with my husband Keith of the 7 Steps to Successful Relationships and co-creator with Lisa of the Mystery School and Whole Being Healing. And just really happy to be here today and happy to be working with you, Lisa, and to have this beautiful guest with us today. We have Evadney Wootton joining us, and she's joining us all the way from Tasmania, Australia, and looking with that beautiful natural background. And we we have the pleasure and the honor of having Evadney be one of our whole being healers. That's how we connected with her. Actually, we connected with her even before that. We knew her in another group that we knew her from, and then connected with her in whole being healing. And then she went through the leadership training and became one of our founding qualified course leaders, which is so wonderful. So we're so glad to have you here, Vadney, and Lisa's going to read your wonderful bio.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's an absolute pleasure. And stepping into the whole being training was one of the most incredibly enlightening thing that I've done in my life. And I'm so happy that I've met you, Maura, and Lisa. Thank you for having me.
Oh, we are so pleased to have you here, Evadney, and to be able to have you share your story. So, Evadney Wootton is an author, a teacher, a healer. She's known as Mama Vads. She's the messenger of LOVE. So, healing begins with love, and love exists within. So, born in a tiny mountain village in Jamaica without electricity or running water, Evadney Wootton is a living testament to resilience, compassion, and the transformative power of love. Her life's journey has taught her that our greatest challenges often become the foundation of our greatest purpose. Her path has taken her across continents, cultures, and decades of lived experience. Having lived in Jamaica, the United Kingdom, Greece, and Australia, and traveled extensively throughout the world, Evadney has embraced each place as a teacher. While living in Greece, she learned to speak the language in order to build a life there, deepening her appreciation for resilience, human connection, and the richness of different cultures. From an early age, her parents believed she was destined to create lasting change in the world, a belief that has inspired her throughout her life and continues to shape her sense of purpose. Alongside her formal qualifications as an educator and decades of professional experience, Evadney believes that life has been her greatest teacher and humanity her greatest classroom. With more than 4 decades as a dental assistant classroom educator, hands-on hairstylist, and educator, mentor, and lifelong student of personal growth, Evadney has dedicated her life to helping others rediscover their confidence, inner wisdom, and authentic selves. She believes healing begins the moment we remember who we truly are. A devoted Buddhist practitioner for more than 45 years, Evadney's daily practice of gratitude, compassion, and inner reflection forms the foundation of everything she shares. Her work is inspired by the understanding that lasting peace begins within and naturally extends into our families, communities, and the world at large. Her journey through whole being healing awakened an even deeper connection to spirit and strengthened her natural gift for gentle hands-on healing. Today, she supports others in reconnecting with the innate intelligence of the body, the wisdom of the heart, and the love that exists within every human being. Evadney is the author of Healing Begins with Love, a companion for the journey home to yourself. It's a heartfelt guide that gently reminds readers that the body is always seeking balance, that healing begins with love, and that every person carries within them the wisdom to return home to themselves. Let the elements guide you. A daily guidance handbook based on the elements of water, earth, air, fire, and ether. As custodian of sacred land in Tasmania, Australia, she is bringing to life a nature based sanctuary where people can reconnect with themselves, one another, and the rhythms of the natural world. Guided by sustainability, community, and reverence for the earth, she is creating a place where future generations can experience peace, belonging, and renewal. One of Evadney's greatest joys is knowing that the mountain village where she was born now has clean running water on tap. Looking ahead, she remains committed to supporting initiatives that help ensure every family who needs access to clean water can receive it, believing that love expressed through service creates lasting and meaningful change. Her vision reaches beyond individual healing. She is devoted to sharing the teachings of whole being healing while empowering people to return to their divine design through conscious living, self responsibility, gratitude, and the remembrance of their innate wholeness. She is equally passionate about inspiring young people to discover their gifts, reconnect with nature, and recognize the limitless potential that already exists within them. Above all, Evadney is a mother, grandmother, teacher, healer, author, and way shower whose life is devoted to service. She believes the greatest qualification for any of us that any of us can carry is love. Her
Mm.
life is a living prayer, rooted in gratitude, guided by faith, sustained by love, and dedicated to the awakening of humanity, one heart, one conversation, and one act of kindness at a time.
Mm.
Welcome, Evadney.
Thank you.
I love that bio so much. I love it so much because it's so rich. It's so rich with experience and insight. And then when you talk about the love, it's like it's just the same as what we do. It's like that's why we were drawn together.
Yeah.
Mhm. Thank you so much for being here, Vadney. The way that we like to start off these conversations is to have you share with us and with our audience beyond what they just heard in your bio or just in your own words right now with whatever's coming forward, what it was in your soul's journey that led you to the point that you're at now,
Yeah.
and maybe even where you see yourself going from here.
Oof, sky's the limit, they say. Um, so my journey for self-discovery, self-care started when unconsciously when I was about 3 years old. And when I actually remembered this later in life. I remembered my leg being in a cast. And so I said to my parents, did something happen to me when I was little? And they explained to me that my my mother's passed, so I couldn't really ask her, but I asked my dad. And I grew up in my grandparents' home with my mum. I had to call my mum auntie because I didn't realize she was my mum because of the community that we grew up in. And they all loved me so much. They kicked my mum out of the home and she came to get me at one point and my legs were being pulled. So my auntie was pulling me because she didn't want my mum to take me. And my mum was pulling me because she wanted her child. And I think it was at that time that I decided that no one could take care of me. I had to take care of myself. And throughout my adult life, it's because of that subconscious, it's actually stunted my growth in some ways. My poor hubby. It's like, no, I want to do it myself. I want to make my own money.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I decided that I had to care for myself. And in caring for myself, I'd be able to care for others. And I carried that throughout my life. At one point at school, I remember wanting to be a nurse. This is at graduation. What do you want to be? I want to be a nurse. And I was told by the teachers that your grades aren't good enough. You should be a seamstress. And I was taken aback by that. And being the person that I am, I don't like being told what to do. Sometimes it's to my disadvantage. But I thought, okay, so you don't want me to be a nurse? I'm going to be a dental nurse and screw you guys. And so, yeah, I followed the path of dentistry, and I became an educator within the school system. Prior to going to the dentist, I would go into the classrooms and calm the kids and educate them so they'd know that it's not something to fear. And I travelled around Australia in a dental van that visited remote communities.
Nice.
And yeah, there's lots more. There's basically, as my bio said or indicated, that's the life that I've lived. And I grew up in a Christian community where, once again, it was control in school, control in church. And I decided, okay, this Christianity doesn't sit right with me. And someone introduced me to the Buddhist faith, and that was about self and others. And so I learned so much about myself, the human consciousness. And if one is not of pure heart, it's really difficult to share that, because we attract what we are, and we manifest on a daily basis, whether it's positive thoughts or negative. We're thinking all the time, so we're manifesting all the time. And I was born for change, and so that's what I live by. I do my daily practice and meditation and connecting to the universe, as we are just a tiny little part of it. And to make a change at grassroots level within one's family unit, if we can make change on those minute level, then we can make a bigger change within the world. And in a group that I saw you, Maura, and Lisa, and I was drawn to your beautiful energy. And then I saw and a clip for Whole Being Healing, and I was nervous to step out of my tiny little box that I'd put myself in because of the information that I was being fed. But participating in whole being healing has really opened up my world to this point that I'm able to have this heart to heart conversation and to be able to share on a global scale that for those people who are thinking they're not good enough, I just want to say that I was at that place and I feel a sense of self confidence, a sense of responsibility to participate in the creation of a new world. And it's here. And it needs people to really get to know themselves and to start by loving yourself. I've had many courses of self-love, and at one stage I was told to just look in the mirror and say I love you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I actually started to see my soul rather than this. And huge changes came about as a result of that.
Mm.
So thank you for having me here to share from the heart.
Oh, we're so glad you connected with us, Evadney. I mean, clearly, your gifts that you have to give, which you've already spent a lifetime giving them in the ways that you did, and now you're discovering new ways. And it's so clear watching you. Um, I've been observing your connection. Um, Really, relationships are so important to you. Your relationship to yourself, your relationship to your higher self, and your relationship to your family. And then it's like whatever group you're in, you just connect so fully and so openly and so authentically and with so much love. And that right there is such a great gift to humanity. And I just love what you just shared about just having that sense of responsibility to like, well, what am I here to do? And how can I shine my light and how can I impact other people in a positive way? And
Yeah,
you're such a beautiful example of that. And we just appreciate it so much.
thank you. Relationship to self. That's quite huge because you're not taught that from a very young age. Our children are sitting in classrooms being indoctrinated. That I'll make this exemption. My grandchildren, or one of my grandchild. I have five, by the way, and that's so precious. The youngest one goes to school and they do something so beautiful. They do yoga in class, and that's unheard of. So yeah, that's is to be commended and introduced in schools. I think that it just makes a beautiful change when you can be taught at that level to go inwards. So, yeah, really important.
Nice. Yeah, it is. It's so important. And the thing you said about the mirror as well, like that is again, I love what you shared because it's like we think, oh, somebody says, "Oh, look in the mirror." And what do we think about? Well, either, "Oh, let me see how gorgeous I look. Let me fix my hair and my makeup."
Well,
Or,
that helps.
right? But also looking at every flaw, what's wrong with me, what's not good enough. We're looking at all the surface, but you
Yeah.
looked in the mirror and you saw your true self. And that's what that process is for. You recognized it, that that's what that process is for. And that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah,
But when you do it, it's so powerful.
absolutely. And what's coming to mind now is therapy. And one one particular therapy that I had really helped me understand a relationship between parents and their children. And I had a situation where I grew up in a household and you were to be seen and not heard. And you were just required to do as you were told. I ran away when I was 17 and I ran very far. I ran to the other side of the world, but I hadn't dealt with that situation, and so it haunted me for 4 years of having a terrible nightmare. So I went for therapy and I had someone witnessing, and then I had someone representing a parent, and I had myself.
Mhm.
And during that process, I was able to say to my parent how I felt. I was able to say all the things that I couldn't have said to my parent. And that opened up a channel of release for me, which was absolutely incredible. And one of the things we had to do was just say anything you wanted to say, curse, and I did. But I was able to release, and we were asked to write, just write. It didn't have to be legible, but it was the process of expelling blockages that our body just it holds on to for centuries, for years.
Mhm.
And indoctrination is coming to my mind right now because we think thoughts that are not even ours because of how we've been brought up, the, the information you get from family, friends, society, the music you listen to, the subconscious images and messages that are going into you and you're not even realizing. And whole being healing, um, I'm not just saying this because you're both the creators of this particular process. I'm saying this because it really helped me to remember and to now it's easy to block out information that doesn't resonate because I work from a space of creating my own reality in a positive way. So yeah, I really just want to say a massive thank you for the change that has been created in me and given me the wisdom and the confidence to go out there and share this beautiful message. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Your journey has been so inspiring to watch because when you first came to us in Whole Being Healing, you looked a little bit different than you do today.
Oh, yeah. That's another story. Uh, yeah,
Yeah, may we share a photo of what you looked like when you started Whole Being Healing?
absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So when Evadney came to us, this is what her beautiful face looked like when she started.
Mm.
Can everybody see that?
Hmm.
And how so Evadney had a condition, we use the air quotes on that. They give labels to everything that our bodies do, and the label that was given to Evadney for this is called vitiligo, and it is a condition where the pigment of the skin starts to go away. So her beautiful dark complexion started to become spotted with white spots. So her face didn't look as beautiful and pure as it does right this moment. And this wasn't really a whole long time ago, Vatney, when you
No.
started with us. It was about a year and a half ago that I think that we started with you in Whole Being Healing. So do you want to share a little bit about that journey?
Yeah, sure. Um, even my family, they stunned. They said to me, "How did you do that, Mum?" My children, and well, uh, I didn't really have an answer right then of how I did it because I didn't really put two and two together. And when I started thinking about it, well, let me start with how it occurred.
Yeah.
So, during a particular time of changes that occurred in the world, division came between my family and I.
Mm.
And I feel very emotional about it right now because we weren't able to talk openly about what was happening. And they were choosing, I was choosing, and I made myself right and I made them wrong for their choice, which was, it wasn't a good thing. And I suffered as a result of that through love and care and fear. And that's when my internal system started to change. And then I started thinking differently. And when I joined Whole Being Healing, I was asked, what do you hope to achieve from this? And it was of great concern to me that all of a sudden my skin just started to change. So I said, yeah, my skin. And then throughout the process of what I was actually learning, I realized that I had to make internal changes and become peaceful with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at you, Maura, because that's something that you said that really stuck with me. And it's made a huge change with not just my skin, but with all aspects of my life. Because when you're pushing against something, your face flares up or you get more of what you don't want. So, yeah, there's this double-edged sword there. Want something to change, but you're focusing on what it's not doing instead of what you would like it to do. And a change of mindset brought me to where I am today. And I I listened. I listened to my own internal guidance,
Yep.
which guided me to certain portions which I made myself. I made myself a little cream that my body told me that it needed. And I knew that I could heal myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that internal knowing, internal listening that really made the change to how I look today, who I am today, what
Nice.
my intentions are today.
So
And
it wasn't a pill or a potion from a pharmaceutical company. I'm
no,
just want to clarify.
it was my own potion.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
from nature, right? It was something new,
from
natural.
nature,
Yeah.
just, just oils.
Mhm.
And yeah, in my backyard, I go out and I pick it. And anything that I come across, which is herb that leads me to understand how that can affect my internal organs and bring about internal change, I collect.
Mm,
Mm.
nice.
That's what nature intended.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Going out in nature, appreciating the sun on your face.
Mm.
And yeah, so one of the things I'm trying to do now is heal my eyesight. And so I look at the sun, but not directly into the sun. And I practice eye exercises to bring about that change.
Nice.
And what we believe is of most importance.
Mm.
Yep. And belief kills and belief cures is one of those sayings. And yeah, I I I think it's true. So yeah, that's how I cured my skin.
That's so beautiful. And the answers came from within you. You didn't
Yeah.
go to some expert or, some doctor, somebody else that was going to give you the answers.
Mm.
Because even here in Whole Being Healing, we didn't tell you what to do. We didn't give you the answers. We
Mm-hmm.
just helped you find your own answers because all answers come from within.
That's it, absolutely. And in saying that, I do believe there's a place for everything that exists in life. There's a place for doctors, there's a place for healers. But once what we do is give away our power. If it's important to see what is out there, to have information, which is knowledge, but then go back and own that. You know, I was given diagnosis, recommendations made with regards to certain ailments, but one doctor said to me, which was, yeah, um, I'll relate that experience. It was about arthritis, and I'd had some blood tests taken. And she rang me at home in fear, saying, "Your blood test has come back based on based based on the results. I don't know how you're still alive."
Oh, jeez.
Gosh, really?
Wow.
Wow.
I,
Nice.
I don't know. And I almost just hang up, but I was polite and I said, "Thank you very much." She said, "Go and get that script immediately." And I said, "Thank you." And I went inwards and I thought, there are to be some kind of bedside manner around this. And I ripped up my script and once again, I did my homework. I got herbs and going from not being able to use a knife and fork, I I do everything now. And I didn't take a single pill. So there's a place for everything. and there's a reason for everything. And the message that I'd really like to share is not to give away your power to anyone. Mm.
Hmm.
Right? Our Creator created these bodies to be so resilient,
Yeah.
and we are each created to be so resilient. And when we tune in to the divine guidance that we all have access to, we are guided in such beautiful ways. But just like you said, when we're taught to give our power away, when we're taught to follow the advice, doctor knows best, and we just blindly follow the advice of the doctors who know best, it
Mm.
doesn't always work out to our advantage because in the divine design, each and every one of us knows what's best for ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's so important what you're sharing.
And each one of us who is willing to, in the face of that fear that's really being pushed on us, and by many well-meaning people, because they were taught with fear, and they were taught that unless you put that fear into somebody, maybe they won't follow the guidance, and they better follow the guidance, otherwise they'll be in trouble. So all these things are many of these things are from very well-meaning people, but when someone is brave enough to listen to their own inner guidance over listening to some so-called authority figure, then we become an example of what's possible, of something different. We become an example of, you really can choose what you want to do. You can choose it for yourself, right? And you can do it peacefully, and you can trust the process. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be scary.
Yeah.
Right. All of those
Hey,
beautiful herbs that God created, that our Creator created, are the medicine that's out there for us. It doesn't have to come from a laboratory. It can come straight out of nature.
yeah. Once again, it's belief, isn't it? And the power to choose.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. And I had the same thing as you that you talked about in the beginning of your story, Evadney, where I didn't like being told what to do. And so that certainly supported me in being willing to try something different. And not everybody has that same kind of contrary spirit.
Yeah.
But those who do may be a match for what we're doing. So come see us.
Yeah, to heal anything, we each have that ability right within us. When we receive that diagnosis, or we suddenly realize that we're facing some health crisis, fear automatically comes up because that's how we have been conditioned.
Mm.
And it's we also are conditioned to jump to worst case scenario. Oh no, what if this happens? Oh no, what if this is and we just project out into the future the worst case scenario, and then we try to react to that, go, oh no, I better do something so I avoid that. Well, we're all creators. We are so powerful. And when we stop feeding the worst case scenario, we stop feeding those fears, we stop feeding those stories, and we start to become peaceful with our own bodies and start to recognize the power and the brilliance of our biological design. It
Yeah.
says right in the word biological. Our bodies are intelligent. they're always working on our behalf. But because of that programming, we've all been taught there's something wrong with me. This is incurable. You're just going to have to learn to live with that. All those
Mm.
stories, and they're really not true. And Evadney, you're such a beautiful testament to that.
Yeah, I'm a rebel.
Yeah.
I'm a rebel with a cause.
And it's so interesting to me. I was just thinking as I'm listening to you guys share that um it seems like a lot of us who are willing to look outside of the medical model are people who are doing some spiritual practice, who are looking within and looking to a higher source and all this sort of thing. But when you really look at it, the medical stuff is really kind of the religion. It's
Mm,
like that's like people don't notice when you talked earlier about the word indoctrination. And we have indoctrination in all these different places where we don't think of it as like, oh, that's like a religion. That's like somebody telling you this, well, this is how it's done, right? And
yeah.
it's like, well, where did you get that from? Right?
Mm. It's it's important. There's not enough education out there about empowering oneself, unless you step outside the square. It's you're not privy to it. There's much more of the other systems in place. And so I think a lot of people are waking up to different possibilities. Yeah.
Yep. Well, yeah, because after a certain amount of time, you start to see, well, this isn't really working,
Mm,
and it's the same story over and over again. And even in some cases, the doctors themselves are like, I don't know.
mm,
And we're like, well, you're the one who's supposed to know.
yeah,
It seems like it's one extreme or the other. They're either like, well, I know everything, and they really don't, or they're just like throwing their hands up. Well, I don't really know.
that's it.
Yep.
They know what they've been taught to know
Yeah.
because they haven't taken the time to go inwards
Yep.
and look at different possibilities. And people are afraid of trusting themselves,
Hmm.
Yep.
afraid of stepping outside of the square.
Yep. Well,
Mm,
it's cool. Lisa and I were just talking about the other day because she had passed on a video to me that somebody had posted on social media about how many doctors now are seeing the the issues with what they've been taught.
mm,
And they're seeing that it's not right. It doesn't feel right. This doesn't look right. And they're starting to, some of them, I think, are starting to hear about things where people have actually shown
yeah,
what's not right about it. And they're leaving that system and they're like, okay, so what do I do now? I want to serve. I want to continue this. And we have people coming to us at Whole Being Healing who have been in the medical profession, who have been doctors and are not wanting to practice that way anymore, but do want to help people heal. So
yeah.
it's pretty awesome to see that shift happening.
Hmm.
Yeah. We just have to keep going. I know what my mission is, and I allow myself to be guided and remain open to this guidance and taking one step at a time. Um, for example, not wanting to do a podcast until now, when my bodies and my mind said it's time.
Mm,
And when we are ready, information will come into your consciousness. It just appears out of nowhere. And it's like, okay, this sounds good. This feels good.
mm,
And feeling. Feeling is it's important. If it doesn't feel good in your body,
mm.
there's a reason.
Yep,
Once again, back to the body's own intelligence. Yeah.
yep.
And connection, connection to one's higher self, or a source that I don't believe there's anything outside of me. I practice the Buddhist faith, excuse me, but I do believe all the answers are within, which is ultimate, regardless of what your beliefs are. Don't give your power away.
Exactly.
Hmm.
When we have that connection to nature and to source, the guidance comes directly from source, comes directly from nature, comes from our bodies. And that divine intelligence just drops in. It guides us. It leads us with on a path of ease and synchronicity. Everything appears when we need it to appear.
Yeah.
When we're trying to force things, when we're trying to make things happen, it's very difficult. And we start on this path where everything is hard, but life isn't meant to be hard. It's supposed to be an easy, beautiful, joyful journey. And when we can listen inside, then it becomes that. When we get peaceful with life, life
Mm,
becomes peaceful.
yep. It's just so beautiful, Evadney. You're such an inspiration and you have so much wisdom to share. And your vibration is so beautiful. Just that the feeling of listening to you speak and then watching you just now with whatever's going on, I feel like it's a healing event. That's what I feel like I'm witnessing right now. Like oh, I did it. I'm on a podcast. And it's like your body just realized it and it's having a response to that. It's like, whoa, whoa, I am? Whoa, we did
Yeah,
it.
it shines up. Oh dear. It's good. And I'm grateful for this moment because it's the next step in my healing journey that's preparing me for what's next.
Right? I think this is the first of many. I think you're going to have other podcasts that you will be on or possibly lead. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. Um once again, that fear comes in and it's like, what have you got to be afraid of? Just do it. Just be
Right?
yourself.
Mhm.
Because if we cannot be ourselves, who are we going to be?
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. We've
Beautiful.
all been taught to we've all been really encouraged to be somebody who we are not. Try to live up to somebody else's standards, try to live up to some standard of beauty that exists only on the cover of some magazine,
Yeah,
to do things that we're coerced into doing, or do this or you're going to get in trouble, or Yeah. So we live as the who we are not. And it's so vitally important that we all start to remember who we are so we can stand in our authenticity, so that we can heal ourselves from the inside out, because it's in remembering who we are and reclaiming our authentic selves. That's where the healing is. And it can show all over your face.
Yeah, proof. um, One really important thing I'd like to give gratitude for is my young grandchildren, because they are they're pure.
Yeah.
They're pure of heart, they're pure of mind, and they say what they think, they do what they feel. And I have a little rebel in my midst. I won't mention his name, but he's showing me who I was. And, and the parents like, that's from your bloodline. So I think when we look at children and see them and seeing them through adult eyes, when you see them through parental eyes, that's different. And seeing them through the eyes of a grandmother makes it very, very special. And that is where my heart lies, in learning from my grandchildren. And I'd like to actually acknowledge all of them at this point. I'd like to acknowledge my oldest grandchild, who is Tayana. She's a light in this world. She is, she's amazing. But she has an amazing mother. And then there's Rayla. And she says to me, before I go to bed, I put on, it's like this helmet, this protection, she says to me. And I'm like, do you? What do you do? What do you say? And and she shares with me from that point. And then there's Maxwell, who's an incredible creator. And he builds stuff, he creates things, because I think it's because he's been nurtured that way. And then we have Dewey. Dewey, he, at school, he is Dewey. And he sometimes gets in trouble because he's Dewey. And I said to him, never stop being yourself, okay? What someone says doesn't change who you are inside. And he takes under his wings the new children that come in. And that is so beautiful, and is rewarded for that by the teachers, which I find so incredibly beautiful. And then we have the rebel. That's Willa. That gives his parents a run for their money. But yeah, that's my soul buddy. And I'm grateful to be a grandparent, to have been a parent, to love and cherish my children, and to share a bit of who I am with them. And my husband is special. He allows me to be me. And yeah, I want to give gratitude for the most amazing son in law that has come into our family. And I'm saying that because we attract who we are.
Mm.
And I'm grateful to attract the beautiful souls that I've attracted into my life. And I'm said enough.
Now I could listen to you go on all day. Or all night, as the case is for Lisa and I.
Thank you. It's so
Mm.
special, this conversation. And we are to be having more conversations like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's so important to have these beautiful conversations. The world needs more beautiful conversations, more inspiring, uplifting conversations.
Yes. Thank you for having this beautiful conversation with us, Evadney.
Thank you. Too.
Mm. You're welcome. And so if somebody wants to connect with you more, what would you suggest?
Um, Facebook and Instagram, and under Facebook, it's Evadney Christie, Christie. I've changed my name because my Facebook was hacked, so I can be reached there. And also, um, being one of the whole being healers, I'd love to share connection there and to, yeah,
Great.
connect with anyone who would like to share more or share something or knows more about me or whole being healing.
Yep. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Sounds good. And I have a feeling we'll be doing more things together. And
Oh,
who knows what they will look like. I'm excited to find out.
I'm open to receive.
Fantastic.
Thank
This
you.
has been such a beautiful conversation. We appreciate you so much, Evadney. And it's just been such a joy watching you unfold like this beautiful blossom. It has been just amazing.
Thanks.
Mhm. Yay, we did it.
So
You're
thank you
welcome.
everyone for watching this beautiful podcast episode of Whole Being Healing with our beautiful guest Evadney Wootton today.
Thank you all for being your beautiful selves. You who are watching, yes, you. We love you. We appreciate you. We're so glad you're here, and we hope you connect with us again soon in whatever way feels good to you. Check out our website, our Telegram channel, however you wish, and our podcast. Continue to join us here. And we'll see you again. And anything else, Lisa?
Yeah, if you like this episode, please give us a thumbs up. Let us know that you liked it. Give a subscribe to our channel if you have not. If you'd like to share the episode, please do that. It always helps us to have more people share it, more people see it. So thank you so much.
All
Until
right, we'll
next,
see you again soon. And in the
okay.
meantime,
Happy
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 healing.
healing. Bye.